everybody, to another episode of the DNVR Rapids podcast. We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app and use promo code DNVR when you sign up. We got a nice little show for you today. I'm your host, Mitch Carroll, a.k.a. Myrtle, a.k.a. ready to talk with our guy.
Oh, you ran out of nicknames.
Get to our guy.
He's got the horn.
Before we get to our guy, I got to introduce my esteemed co-counsel, super analyst, all-around okay guy, Yahya.
If we rank the best okay guys, I think I come in third place.
One of the okayest, for sure.
I'm one of the okayest.
Yeah.
Not too
Yeah,
bad. Ask
no
my
doubt
wife.
about it.
Never to the top performance, but just enough to get past.
Dude, the
Bees
results
get
are in, and
degrees.
you are okay, dude.
I'm
The results are
okay.
You are in.
They'll be in eventually. They're just doing an okay job. We haven't actually got them yet. Over there on the far end of the couch, the art director for All City Network. And just a big old lovable guy down there with his cute little beard. Downtown
It
Duane
is
Brown.
cute. Thanks, buddy.
What's up, dude?
I was going to say it was okay, but I'll take
It's
I'll
an
take
okay
the
beard for
upgrade.
sure.
I'll take the upgrade.
Well, then
Cute.
that kind of eliminates Yaya's okay beard.
Well,
Yeah.
we're both on team okay.
I don't think
No,
I don't think
I'm
that beard
sorry.
even gets okay.
I
to be
am
totally honest with
top 3 okay.
Wait, I was told okay was not exclusive, that I could also be in there.
I'm sorry. This is a council, and I vote you out of the okay.
I
club.
knew
Whoa.
I knew there was going to be so much drama on today's show, and it's
Drama.
already started.
Drama. Speaking of, we're joined. I was kidding. In his first return since Juanners week, I believe, or close
Yeah,
to it.
no, it was
Well-
Juanners week. I think the last time, wasn't it?
I've been in the comments.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But
You've
I've
been,
been
you've been an
around.
active
we are
member.
joined
not on the
from,
show.
from
Yeah.
the C38 pod, from Twitter, and various other places, from the parking lot outside the Rapids Stadium.
Yeah,
We got
pretty much.
Juanners, baby. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, guys. Bro, this is like one of the most fun things to do
Thank you.
when it comes to rapid stuff to do.
We
Outside
are,
the stadium, of course.
bro, off season is peak goofy time, too.
Yes.
This is
He-
going to get weird.
He is the top Juaner. He's top 1% of
The only one.
Juaners.
The only one.
The only Juan? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Doesn't sound as good when I say it, though. That's for sure.
Is that your Twitter name? Is that your Twitter name? Only Juan?
No.
Damn,
that
that's
should have
good.
been instead
Man.
of Juaners, honestly.
Someone probably took
Damn.
it, dude. Someone took Juanners at Juanners. You know what we could do is if everyone goes and reports at Juanners for faking being me, then I could just have at Juanners.
Or we can just
That's
Photoshop.
awesome.
We can literally just Photoshop.
Let's go.
We can
We'll
Photoshop.
start the campaign for sure.
Juan Rebel Mendoza has at Juanners, and he's not tweeted since 2016, the last time the Rapids were like really dominant.
Just Photoshop a bunch of
Wasted
articles
Juaners.
talking about Elon Musk, and he'll get banned.
Whoa.
Well, he's not playing. Like he's not. He's not tweeting.
Yeah. You wish he was playing. 'Cause He's
Yeah.
not doing anything.
No,
He's just
he's
on the
not.
sidelines wasting a great screen.
Does that make you even like matter
Get
that he
him.
doesn't do
Yes.
anything?
Get in. DNVR Rapids Nation. We need you to come
Yeah,
through for
everyone
our guy.
at Juanners and like spam him and spam Twitter.
Well, just,
Yeah.
just any Rapids person, go spam him.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right, guys, we got some topics we're gonna get to eventually here. We're gonna talk a little Rapids match day experience. We're gonna talk Rapids branding because we have our designer and art director over here who's pretty good at that sort of thing. And but first, man, I got in our little chat about the show and I said we have to talk about this men's national team drama because
Drama.
it is
So dumb.
so stupid and so hilarious that we have to talk about it.
Juaners, do you know about this?
So I actually spent all day yesterday working.
Okay.
Today was my first work day back from like
Wow.
2 weeks.
We're gonna
of-
get live Juanners reaction.
Yeah,
to this,
it was 2 weeks of like being off of work, not having to do anything. I was like waiting on my phone for all the drama, you know.
Yeah.
And
dude. You're about to get it.
you
My
know,
friend, it has arrived.
yes,
This is it.
It has
so.
arrived.
I mean, I'm kind of out of my element because I come into these shows prepared like, here's why Rubio is great. Look at these XG stats. Look at these goal plus stats.
Right.
And then this time I'm like, well, Gio Reyna's kind of soft, bro.
Yo,
it's not even
that is
Gio
not
Reyna.
even.
That's
well,
not even
I
close,
think part
bro.
of it, and we can get into speculation there. Let's just talk about what we know for sure.
Let's get to
let's lay
the-
this out.
to
so,
what's happened.
So a report comes out, sourced by several reporters, but it comes out that someone talked to U.S. Soccer during the World Cup saying, I have information that will bring down Greg Berhalter.
Dun, dun, dun.
Blackmailed.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yeah.
So
Juanners just to all the
Berhalter
Rapids
on his own,
Hashtag
well,
L3.
I mean, I can't say on his own, but Berhalter comes out with a statement and says that 30 plus years ago, there was an argument with him and his wife that turned physical.
He kicked her in the legs.
Kicked her in the legs.
They were drunk.
They were drunk.
He's also a
They've
soccer
also
player.
been now married for 30 years and have 4 kids and have a good relationship.
Well, he's a soccer player.
Sure.
Yeah, it's,
Uses his legs.
it's very different. It's
But
like a UFC
he
guy
came
punching
out,
you.
He came out. He talked about it. Says we've gone to therapy separate and together, and we've worked on this. We have a good relationship. He
and
got
his-
in front of it. Whatever.
He and his
whatever.
wife both signed it.
Correct.
So
Then it comes out that the person that divulged this information was none other than former U.S. men's national team captain and soccer parent Claudio Reyna,
Yes.
well,
who was roommates with Greg Berhalter in college.
but it wasn't him. It was actually
That was, well, I'm just
that-
saying, in terms of reporting, this was the report that first
Right.
hit.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Turns out it was actually Gio Reyna's mother, Claudio Reyna's
Whoa.
wife. And this was in
So not
response
even
to
Claudio?
Gio, to the news
was-
about Gio coming out that he wasn't, in a good attitude with the team, wasn't
Who
Yeah.
pulling his
So
weight.
to keep like the craziness of this story going, all of the drama. Gio's mom was roommates with Berhalter's wife.
Yep.
And
when all of this
Claudio
went
and Berhalter
down.
were roommates also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're all good buddies. Claudio, I think, was a groomsman in Berhalter's wedding.
Yep.
So this is a close group who's
Yep.
grown
So we
up
need keeping
together
up with
in
the
their adult-
Berhalters.
Correct.
Well, I've
Yeah,
read this
exactly.
story because I'm not a I don't
Keeping
care
up with
about
the Reynas,
celebrities
really.
or anything, but this started happening. I was like, F it, man. I'm just gonna read this drama and get the whole
This feels
story.
a lot like Romeo and Juliet. Like
Kinda.
it feels a lot of like
Kind of
families
just a lot
kind of
dumber.
started feuding.
Yeah.
So basically, to rewind it further, so you have this report of there was a threat during World Cup. After the World Cup is when Berhalter did that conference and shared the information about there being the issue with
Correct.
a
Didn't
player.
name the player, yeah.
Didn't name it, but everybody knew.
Yep.
So that was really, really dumb on Berhalter's part to
Yep.
think that was going to stay in the room. And of course it didn't. Then Gio comes out and says, this is true. I didn't do a great job working out and putting the energy in. I apologize to my teammates and the coach, and things were good. Then at the same time as this is coming out, that's when the report from Gio's mom hit. It was December 11th or whatever it was.
She went full
about-
soccer mom mode.
Yeah. She went and
Stage
said,
parent,
but
helicopter
here's
parent.
the funny thing is, Berhalter says, I shared this stuff in this conference. I didn't know anyone was going to talk about it in the public.
So there's a
Gio's
mole.
mom goes and shares this information with U.S. Soccer. Then an investigation starts, and she goes, I didn't think anyone was going to share this in the public. It
Yeah.
was the same exact thing, and
did
it's
see that.
just so much stupidity.
I kind of feel bad for Claudio
It's
Reyna because he
just
got dragged
dumb.
and everybody thought it was him.
No,
Everyone
the-
thought
so
Yeah,
it
and it turns out to be his wife, and now it's like Claudio Reyna now has that over his head where it's like, yeah, you probably kind of started this when he might have not been involved at all.
I feel like they were probably both involved.
I'm sure they were both
I
involved.
feel like it's his wife a lot, honestly.
So-
I mean, it was probably more so. But here's okay. So that's what happened. To me, the takeaway is,
Let's
I
talk
don't
about
think it's
results. Dramatic
well.
results.
I don't think it's gonna be Berhalter, right? I mean, obviously it's Hudson on the next one, which we can get into that
Jesus.
too.
That's
That's its own podcast, really.
Oh,
but
that's the
to
true
me, if
victim
you're the
is all
next
of us.
coach and you're like, what does this do for Gio Reyna? Because if you ever discipline him or bench him or don't include him in an 11 for the Gold Cup or for whatever, are you have to worry that his mom's going to dig up dirt and try and ruin your career?
But
I
no,
don't-
at that
I
point,
don't
there's
think he
already
will,
a track
because-
record. Yeah, there's a
yeah.
track record.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Is this going to factor into Gio's future?
No,
No,
because
it
I think
doesn't.
Gio's parents have played their card now, and it's hurt them as much as they thought it was going to hurt Berhalter. The only person the only victim in all of this is Berhalter's wife.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, like this is
Kevin
something
just made
where-
that point. Good for you, Kevin.
So good for
job,
you,
bud.
Let's go, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. Like that's the true victim in all of this is that all of this garbage comes out in this drama. Meanwhile, there was an incident 30 years ago, and yeah, they released a statement saying they've patched it up, but we don't know that. And things have consequences, and they have mental impacts that she's had to live with, you know, and she's still with this person, and that stuff just doesn't evaporate. you know?
Absolutely.
And so now you're dragging up all of this crap from her life, and she's not even the one like
Involved in any
in any of it. And like that's like the true like crappiness of all of this. I think going to US soccer in a reactionary way, I don't think it's bad to go to US soccer and bring up an investigation, but it's obvious that it was retaliatory, and it's
because
just
your
petty.
19-year-old son
Yeah, it's petty.
didn't handle the national team
So
assignment
real
well.
quick.
Like-
What do you think, Juanners? This is your first time hearing this. What is your like your instant reaction of this? Like not processing, just kind of like hearing this for the first time.
It's like,
I think this is, the level of drama here is tame compared to the Mexico El Tri drama between Chicharito and Tata. Personally speaking,
Whoa, I don't know that drama.
It's
That's another pot.
Is there a cliff notes? Is there like a few sentence cliff notes on that, or is it too
I mean,
long?
Chicharito likes to party.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say.
he likes to instigate a little bit.
Oh,
too.
okay. Good for him.
But beside that, I think the biggest thing that Gio Reyna has to worry about is not whether or not his coach is going to, discipline him. It's whether or not he can get on the field.
Right.
And it's funny that there's just so much hype and like so much talk around a player who has never had a consistent season of, playing time where he wasn't injured throughout his season.
Well, that's because potential gives you hope.
Right.
You see a little bit, and you're like, cool.
And Gio is a baller.
He is.
Yeah.
In the moments that we've seen him, he's a baller. And, like people got mad that he wasn't playing. He was, it is kind of like sus that Jordan Morris got more playing time than, or not more playing time, but he got that substitution over him.
Well, he did get more playing time, kind of. Than
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really privy to much of the U.S., but this kind of reeks of the of just kind of the whole system that the U.S. has in place of like
this
those
is US soccer.
yeah those with like the ability to kind of get their way into these positions will get their ways into positions.
It feels very immature, not just from Gio, but also kind of from Berhalter a little bit. That because if he really didn't feel like that if he really did feel about that, Gio, making it so public and making it so well known, even within the organization, feels very immature because he kind of wants to say, "Hey, look what I did to one of the best players that we have. I got a little bit more control." So again, I hope it's not Anthony Hudson. I think it's still going to be Berhalter in that coaching position because
Man.
they kind of got ahead of it before anybody could.
He did a interview with the Harvard Business Review today, which was like a speaking event for
Who did?
Harvard Business School. Berhalter.
Okay.
Where he was like, they definitely put out that because he had this coming up and he threw his name fully in the ring. I want the job. I want to come back. I don't think it happens. I think it's the last we see of him, his staff with Hudson,
Berhalter?
with the U.S. team. Yes.
Berhalter's done, you saying?
I don't think he comes back.
Okay. Because, I
I think they wash their hands of this. They find someone else to do it and they move on.
Yeah, they're
I don't think it even necessarily has to do with this, but I think this doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
I think this helps U.S. soccer if they were planning to move in that direction.
That's how I meant
could
to say it,
could
yeah.
see U.S. soccer being like, yes,
Yeah. Cool.
this
We're
is
done.
all done
Yep.
for us now. We don't have to release a PR statement about why we made the decision.
Yep.
So it's just so U.S. soccer. It's
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's like we have a World Cup where people get excited again about U.S. men's national team. And it's like we kick ourselves right in the junk again,
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
even the way
irritating.
even the way the U.S. played, I thought they played really timid and scared. And I mean, in my time when I used to follow the U.S. early on as a child, there was this big underdog mentality that they'd go into every single one of their games.
Michael
right?
Bradley embodied that.
Yeah. I mean, they were dogs. And nowadays, the U.S. soccer just has no dogs. I think besides Adams and Musa, everyone around them is either super soft or like it feels like they're just entitled.
I'll put Reem
That's
up there
how I
too.
feel.
I put Reem up there. I think Reem's a dog.
Reem's a dog.
Yeah,
But he won't even be
I
around
guess.
next
He
cycle.
looks like
so-
Thor.
Yeah.
Like that's why you don't
He's
think he's a
done
dog.
now.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
looks
That's
pretty
probably why he
doggy.
was a dog.
I mean,
And they only scored, what, 3 goals?
Yeah, the thing is, like, for dog, like, you need, like, individually, Musa and Adams are those guys. Those guys are those guys for their club. And they go out there and they are those enforcers. But then you get to the rest of the team and there's no, like, hey, let's throw caution to the wind. And, like, we're at the World Cup. We're here at the dance. Let's like, fuck shit up, you know? Instead, it's let's try to, you know, make it as far as we can. And even though we're going to be outclassed eventually, at least we got it further than Mexico did. And even though they did make it further than Mexico at least had you on the edge of your seat, you know? They had you watching. And even then, you know, I tend to support both teams based on how I'm feeling with the vibes.
Sure.
Ever since Berhalter was...
Some wild vibes both directions.
I mean, ever since Berhalter was hired, I've been anti-USMNT just because that philosophy that he's established is one that is so soft and one that is pampered and that has led us to where we are today.
It feels like a David Beckham kind of led system. That's what I feel. Pretty boy. You
Yes.
got skill. Go out there and beat him with your skill instead of doing the little dirty work.
Yeah.
And that's what US was about.
Yeah, about the
how
grind.
you were saying it's the grind. It's you do the dirty work because that's going to take you that extra step. That's going to take you to the promised land. And it does feel like Berhalter
I think
really
part of it
divvies
is
away from that.
the mentality is that I do feel like the talent on this current squad is higher
Yes.
than a lot of those dog teams. So yeah, I'm not going to say that they're pampered pretty boys or anything. Like I don't think that's it. I just think that expectations were higher, that we didn't. Nobody was pushing them to be that gritty dog to come into it because we already felt confident that this was a squad with a lot more talent than we're used to. So I don't know if that's a fair take on it.
Yeah, I mean, my issue is not with the talent. I mean, it kind of comes to MLS nowadays too. Like most MLS teams are way more talented than they were, like, you know, years ago in MLS.
Even 5
1.0.
years ago.
But the MLS, there's a charm to the old teams, to the old MLS teams, to the old USMNT teams, where it is this kind of, we are taking on the world, as opposed to,
like
hey,
that
we're good
a
enough
lot.
to dance with. I don't think the U.S.
you're right on
is
that.
good enough to compete with, as we saw against teams like the Netherlands. Even if they had beat the Netherlands, I mean, we had all the momentum in the world to beat England. And beating England, I know we drew 0-0. It was a great game, but that first half was the best they've ever looked, where they utilized their talent, they got the dogs in them, and they're fighting, you know, they're playing up to the occasion.
Sure.
They come to halftime, they're like, hey, guys, remember, we got to, you know, be here for as long as we can. So, like, instead of being like Canada, who, you know, had a really great showing.
Gave it to Belgium. Gave it to Belgium.
They brought it. They captivated their audience way more than I felt the U.S. did. Now, that's obviously not what matters. What matters is results, right?
I think entertainment factors into it.
But, you know, you got millions of people finally watching you. And, you know, to play kind of the way they did against Wales that first time was just, you know, very, very much like we were building up to this thing we missed out and we didn't do anything with it.
I do say that quite a bit, where it feels like the U.S. keeps competing with Mexico, and I think they've overtaken Mexico in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like they're still stuck in that, like, are we still better than Mexico?
The measuring stick needs to change.
Instead of saying, what do we have to do to reach that next level, to start competing with the Belgium, start competing with the Englands, start trying to, like, force your way into the elite tier of national teams.
Dude, honestly, if the U.S. put as much and U.S. fans put as much into beating Mexico as they did beating England, if we can really call soccer,
Sure.
we're good, you know. But
Yeah, it's like
instead
it might have been 2-0, like, honestly, like, if the U.S. actually wanted to win.
yeah.
If we, to put a bow on it, it is about entertainment, and that's what was lacking.
I mean, we finally got it now, though.
Watching
Finally got the entertainment months after the World Cup.
watching Mexico with Yaya was easily the most entertaining part of that whole World Cup for me. It was the most fun I had. The bursts of curse words in Spanish and screaming and clapping, it was the best. Watching soccer with you is so fun.
I do cuss quite a bit.
Oh
Yes.
my God, it was so fun. Duane was there. He can attest.
It was terrifying. It was terrifying.
Drew Moore kept looking at me and saying, yeah, Mexico just scored. And I'm like, I don't care, Drew, if I care it hurts. Stop telling me things.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I
You
don't
better
know, any
believe
other-
I was screaming when we scored the second goal. and they got me. They got me hooked, and then they conceded the last one, and I was angry.
Bro, my heart just started beating faster when you said they scored this last, because I'm like, I remember that moment, and then Henry Martin comes in and just opened that and just like, what's the next topic we're talking about?
Yeah. Is there any, okay. Yeah. Let's put a bow on that. It's silly. It was a fun little story, and bridges a dead week for Rapids news, and we can get into more stuff later.
Like the saddest part of it all
Wayne, I have to do
is
an ad
that
read.
now Hudson is the coach.
Oh God, we will get into that.
I love it, man. I'm a Mexico fan. Give me Hudson every day of the week.
I know you're joking.
I'm not.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. First,
I just learned something new about Yahya, and it's even scarier.
I'm a Mexico fan. Remember that.
Mitch, is there something that you'd like to add to the show?
no, I wanted to do an ad read, and then you started talking again about stuff we already talked about.
Read those ads. I can't wait
Good
to hear
Lord.
about it.
No, it's okay. You're right. Hudson is the worst thing that could happen.
He is terrible.
Okay. I'm all for it. We're going to get into some discussions about the Rapids. But first, we're going to talk about the homies at game time.
Homies.
Do you like going to sporting events or concerts or comedy shows?
Yes.
Or any of those things? Do you like getting good prices on seats?
Also, yes.
Do you like getting discounts on the best seats in the house?
Yes.
Well, you should go to Game Time.
What?
It is the hottest new ticketing site. Makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. If you've ever dreamed of sitting in any of these premium seats, that's courtside, that's behind home plate, that's 50-yard line, that's the end zone, that's 4 seats at the concert, you got to use the Game Time app. It's the biggest last-minute price drops can be found on the seats you thought you could never buy. You won't find a better deal this season on Nuggets tickets, on Avalanche tickets, on Rapids tickets, because that's less than 2 months away. So make sure you're using Game Time to find those tickets.
Can I just say, not that I wasn't already using it, but I have already been using Game Time. It is literally the best for planning your away day trips.
Oh yeah,
because instead of me having to hit up, hey, FC Dallas, can I sit in your supporters section?
Sure.
And you guys are going to upcharge me, and I'm going to be in the corner of the stadium anyways. Instead, I go to Game Time, pick a nice couple of seats.
Yeah.
And they were all I used last season for away days. I went to the Christmas game, the Nuggets game, got a sweet deal.
Nice.
I thought you wouldn't,
awesome
but
game. Greatest
Broncos
dunk.
this
One of the
weekend,
greatest
Paulie.
dunks I've ever seen.
Broncos $2 Bronco ticket.
Literally, you can go to $2, sit in Mile High Stadium, and watch what's left of the Broncos.
The other
well,
team.
against
The other team.
arrested
The other team.
Chargers.
You don't want to watch Mr. Unlimited?
I
Who's
mean,
that?
Unlimited
Russell
deals for
Wilson.
$2.
what? Good one, Duane. If you love DNVR, you'll love Game Time.
No,
That's
Game
just a
Time's
fact.
amazing.
Look, this is
It's got the
organic. We didn't
Juanners.
even coach him on this. The Juanners
No,
just did it.
We'll have you check for you after the show.
The best way to support us and Game Time together is to go to the link right there in the show notes. You go to Game Time. Boom. Right there. You're looking at Rapids tickets. You're going through. Going through that link helps us so much. Join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score the best seats to all your favorite events. Also, Denver Health Medical. It's open enrollment time for individual health plans now through January 15th. Denver Health Medical Plan offers Elevate exchange plans available on Connect for Health Marketplace with great benefits and affordable plan choices. You can also call direct at 303-602-4912 and sign up online at denverhealthmedicalplan.org. Elevate exchange plans have options for individuals and families looking for cost-effective, quality health insurance for those who might not get coverage through their employer or who might be self-employed and need to get coverage. All Elevate exchange plans include adult dental and vision at no additional cost. Plus, this year we offer lower monthly premiums than any plan currently available on the marketplace, and we've added new mental health benefits for your regular copay. Go online or give us a call, 303-602-4912. Plan members have options to receive care at any of our 10 family health centers in the Denver area or the main hospital outpatient medical center at Denver Health. I used to go to the doctor there super regularly. It's a great facility. It's easy in and out. The parking's easy. They do a great job. Additionally, this year we added a virtual mental health option called Elevate Mind. It's available 24/7 at the cost of a normal copay. Great for those who need a convenient resource for mental health. We are an NCQA accredited health plan, which means we have a higher standard for quality of care. Open enrollment for exchange runs until January 15th. You have 10 days
That's next
if you
week.
need it. That's next week. Call today, 303-602-4912, or visit www.denverhealthmedicalplan.org. Shout out to the homies at Denver Health.
I'll be right back, guys. I only got a week to do this.
Yeah, sorry, go. You have to go take the horse and buggy down to the hospital. All right. So, Juanners, and we're not going to totally break this down, but after the season, after the World Cup, you had a little op-ed published.
Yeah, the elephant in the room. Huh?
Look,
It's not an elephant.
I wouldn't call it an elephant.
Yeah.
This resonated with a lot of people.
Yes.
It was one of the most popular pieces of Rapids media in all of 2022, I would say. It was definitely one of the most talked about. And
Thank you.
I don't want to sit here and rehash every point you made or make you bring up any single specific point. But I do think that when you look at this panel, it's 4 people who experience Rapids game days on a weekly basis in very different ways.
Yes.
Right? And have come to supporting the team in 4 very different ways. And I think being able to talk about match day experience like this can open up a pretty lively discussion because none of us see it the exact same way.
Yeah.
Right? But we all support the club pretty intensely. So being able to talk about it, I think, is really interesting. There's a lot of ways we could start this. Great graphic, by the way, Duane. Good job.
It's a photo. I put some words on it.
And looks like a wallpaper texture.
You put texture on it.
Yeah, man.
You did
All
work.
right.
Don't
did
don't
great.
you discredit
Yeah,
yourself.
don't discredit yourself.
Really getting
Love you, man.
in there,
Believe.
man.
So I guess let's dig into some match day experience. I obviously have probably spent, of the 4 here for sure, I've spent the least amount of time at DSGP. I would go to maybe 1-2 matches a year with some friends. We'd get 8 tickets, sit up in the bleachers up above the built-in seats up in the corner, drink a bunch of Chelada tall cans, and then leave. And it was, I never really thought about it too much. Enjoyed it. Liked the free parking. Hated how far away it was. Obviously, I was like, there could be more to this. But, I wouldn't say it was the worst time I had. We got to drink a bunch of beers, got to go in for pretty cheap and leave and call it a day. That being said, now I don't really, I wasn't looking for things then. And now when I go, I'm up in the box, I'm talking to the other reporters there where, I don't see the same thing. You're in the section with C38 every game. You are sitting 4 sections away every game. You go a couple times a year, but mostly you're screaming at your TV at home.
I don't
Loudly.
want. There's kids at DSG. They're
home.
soccer moms. I don't want to be there. And if I go to
Yeah.
a supporters, man, I'm not gonna watch the game, and I'm not gonna be able to talk about it afterwards. That's my
Sure.
issue. That's why I stay home because I like having a little bit more.
But
same
you've
things that
gone
you
a
guys-
lot, though.
Oh yeah, I've gone.
Yeah.
I used to go all the time when it was in Invesco, and one of my favorite things that there was the when they used to score, like the song that just like blasts. Yeah, like like I used to love that, dude. As a kid, I would like
Sounds so
get
corny.
up and start clapping because I used to love that with those like blue and black uniforms running around the pitch.
I never made it to a Rapids game at Mile High, and I wish I did. I feel like I missed something. I feel like there's a club I'm not a part of, and it really gives me FOMO.
Hey,
like I've never had. In
I
my
didn't
life.
either. Not a lot of people know this, but I was a Nuggets fan before I was a Rapids fan.
Sure. I mean,
So-
you're wearing the hat right
Yeah,
now.
Yep.
I used to go all the time to those Invesco. I think I'm not gonna lie. I think Invesco really lent itself to having a really good atmosphere because I feel like they had a little bit more resources to do.
Oh yeah,
things.
way more resources.
So the music would blast immediately after, and you could see the crowd really get into it, like immediately. And also, that era really got a lot of fans because when they used to bring the Liga MX teams to play right before or right after the Rapids, people would watch both games and just stay there for hours watching. I know they converted a lot of Mexican fans into Rapids fans at that time because that's how my family got into the Rapids. That's how we learned about the Rapids because we used to watch them at that time.
Sure, yeah, and man, you're right that such a big stadium offers so much more to a game day experience, right? There's more bathrooms, there's more vendors, there's better sound, there's bigger video boards, there's more parking. Parking's probably about the same, honestly.
More expensive.
More expensive, but more public transportation in and out, et cetera, et cetera.
Easier access to them.
You two, though, I think are going to provide the most because you sit, I don't know, 100 feet apart from each other and probably have just drastically different game day experiences between the two of you.
Yeah, very
Right.
different worlds.
Yeah, and I mean, my main thing when I wrote it is, I could only speak from my experience as a C38 member.
Sure.
Which is limited. I have had seats where I am, with the soccer moms, and I'm getting really excited, and everyone's looking at me like, this dude's really a fan.
Yeah.
And then I've also been, on road days. I've seen other experiences. I'm so thankful we're not FC Dallas because they probably have all our problems times 10.
Really?
Yep. So
It's not even in Dallas.
I love that. Dwayne hates Dallas, so
I do. I don't
Yeah.
like FC Dallas.
that's awesome. We're going to have to talk more about that just so Dwayne has.
They're not my
What
favorite.
happened? Oh.
Oh,
okay,
you got
yeah.
to
Thank
see
you, Kale.
you
That
got
was a
to
little
see
shot of
Kale's
super producer
shoulder.
Kale and super producer
Nice.
Tiff. Nice.
That's a good looking shoulder.
For you
right
watching
there.
for free, that's extra for Kale's
That's a
shoulder.
good
Yeah, that's
looking
right.
shoulder.
But you have to donate. You have to do a super chat now for that. Yeah.
With all that being said, though,
Yeah.
the context of my experience is limited to C38. Here's how I see it. It was really nice to see other people chime in that aren't C38 members. And my main hope for the op-ed is that, the club is reading not only what I have to say, but reading through what everyone else has to say. Because I think that not only have I brought up valid points about how I would, like to see the club being, utilized, but so have many other people. And, everyone's got probably a great idea in them some way.
Sure.
To improve the match day experience. And, I'm not the only one that you can dish out the ideas. So if you look through, I retweeted it. I retweeted every single thing that ever had to do with it, just so I can keep a log of
Sure.
let me read through all of this. And I look at every comment, look at every Reddit thread, and everyone's got something to add.
Dwayne, where would you start with that? I think that's the place to go.
Sorry.
No, go
Say
ahead.
again?
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say let's jump into some of those things.
Yeah.
Again, we all experience match day very, very differently, whether it's at home, in the media box, C38, or outside C38 in the regular crowd where I am. They're all very, very different experiences. We all go to the stadium for different reasons. Also, I just want to put this out there, I'm cool with all the soccer moms out there.
I have to.
If I just feel like both in the comments and it's just we keep using this term like soccer mom to crap on we've wrapped up all of the negativity about the match day experience with the words soccer mom. I think it's a little unfair. So I want to hit that. If there weren't soccer moms bringing their kids and their families,
We probably wouldn't have.
there
a club.
would be no
Okay,
one
but yeah,
there,
and,
and we wouldn't have a club. So
Go
it's
to a
just
game at Coors Field. Mostly going to be families. Go to a Broncos game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bunch of families with their kids.
I think those are really bad.
Go to Nuggets and
examples.
Avs games. No, any sports game. That's how you fill the stadium. Is marketing to the family in town that wants to go spend $250
Coors Field is
between
just a giant
food
bar.
and
Yeah, I think
Like
Coors
now,
Field's a
like-
little bit different. 'Cause
Yeah,
Coors Field
it's-
is just a bar.
People are
it
there
is not
now.
just a bar. There are so many kids and parents and families that go to games.
People
Yeah,
are
the
not
early
there to
ones.
watch baseball. Anyway, let's bring it back in.
My point is that you have to. That's the
accommodating to
people that
everybody.
spend hundreds of dollars when they come.
Yeah.
You can't not market and invite those people to the stadium.
I think one of the biggest challenges, and I think this is this is the hardest thing I think for the Rapids, both as a club, both for C38, for supporters that are not sitting with C38. The biggest challenge for the Rapids is to figure out what that identity is for match day, because I don't envy the folks working in marketing at Rapids, because the complaints are usually there's too much family stuff going on and we need more ultras, we need more crazy, right?
I think we did.
And then the other side of it is, but I want to be able to take my kids there and I don't want to have to put earmuffs on them the whole time. Right.
Yeah.
And I have a kid,
Penny goes to a lot of games.
I bring
Yeah.
Penny to a lot of games.
She's probably gone
And-
more than I have lately, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, Penny goes to way more matches than you.
Yeah.
She's a regular, and I've taught her the songs from C38. She's always looking at C38. So we sit there and I teach her the chants and the songs with, sans a few words that are not for her, so that she can sing along and do the claps and stuff. So we have that interaction that C38's trying to lead, for the rest of the stadium.
Also, those children become fans when they grow up.
They grow up
and
to be fans.
They become ultras. They become people that want to follow the squad all the way through.
So again, the challenge is like, how do you make an experience at Dick's Sporting Goods Park that is both fun and safe for families, but also doesn't feel like a family event, so that people who don't have families, that are single, or married or whatever, dating without kids, can come in, have drinks, get rowdy, and have fun and have that soccer supporter experience that they want.
Right.
Like, how do we make C38 bigger than just that section so that bleeds out into the rest of the stadium, while also not pushing away, parents from not wanting to bring their kids. And I would love it to not be like, the obvious answer is, well, we split it right down the middle and the families sit on one side, and like, that's terrible. Like, because I want the energy to be like involved, So I think all of the things that we're going to talk about, I think they really do. Like, they kind of ladder back up to what is the identity of the Rapids match day experience. And I don't think anybody has that answer, by the way.
Yeah, what would you do,
It's
Juanners?
just trying to figure out how to put both of those things in there.
Yeah. Well, I do want to counter to a little bit of it, because nowhere in my op-ed am I advocating for more ultras or more more of one certain. Like, I think you need a melting pot of different stuff, right? We're all in agreement with that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We need a good mix. The issue that I have with the Rapids experience as of late is that there is no immediate connection for anybody to have that kind of, that feeling of like being connected to the club, whether it's players coming out and signing autographs after the game, whether it's everyone in unison singing along to a song. I mean, RSL, for as much as we like to shit on them, everyone that goes to the games knows about their song anthem. They sing it before the game, they sing it after the game, they sing it after songs. Everybody in the stadium knows that cues when to sing their shitty, stupid song. They know exactly when that occurs. SKC, they know exactly when a corner comes. Everyone, and we have the Viking clap,
yeah.
and that's good. You know why? I know it's good, because not only does it get everyone involved, but it gets the front office officials have said openly and publicly, we love the clap. Why do they love the clap? Because everyone gets involved, right?
It's
Whole
it's a
stadium
community
out,
kind of thing.
Yeah, and so it's things like that. It's things like, match day experience, you don't really got to cater to one side or the other. As a C38 rep, I'll tell you right now, like, the goal of C38 is to get more C38 members, right? Yeah. We don't need the Rapids to do that. But if they bring, if people come to the stadium and see that, oh, who are those guys? That's how I got into C38. I said, those guys are cool. I'm going to go join them, right? And slowly and surely got to where I was at, helped volunteer, and that's the C38 route, right? And the Rapids had no kind of push me to do that. They didn't push me to go either one side. I just kind of went and did it. What I want from like the club is I want experiences that stick with you, not only at you as a father, but Penny as a child early on, saying like, hey, I remember when I was young, like, Diego Rubio came over and like, clapped me away, like, said hi to me, said goodbye, something like that. I don't think it's that hard to really like, aside, and chance, whatever. People
feel
always,
that's one kind of.
Yeah, kind of promote things within the squad. Thanksgiving Day last year, what did the Rapids do?
They got everybody involved, like every team in Denver.
They got everyone involved. What did they do? They did something as simple as putting a flag on everybody's
That was
seat.
fun as hell.
And that wasn't a C38 led thing. That wasn't like anybody on Twitter saying, maybe someone did have the idea of like, hey, let's put flags in everyone's seats, right?
I think what that was, okay, if I jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're talking about the flags. I think why that was successful. First, I think the reason it happened is because it was televised, and the Rapids want to make a good show of it. So and which is fine. That's what the Rapids should be doing. Like, I want us to look good on TV. What I would like to see, and I think this is also linked to what you're saying, is like, I would like to see that for every match. You know, and I'm not saying that they need to give out a free flag on every match.
Right.
But the important thing, it's not about the flag. It's about the fact that there was a visual thing that everyone can see from all around the stadium. So 1, there's visual, right? 2, it's easy. I don't have to learn any lyrics or chants or songs.
Right.
I don't have to be a good singer or anything like that. I can hold up a flag and wave it around.
And
right?
I'm participating.
And
Yeah,
it's easy,
that's the
right.
big one.
It's easy to participate and engage with. It's highly visual, right? And those two very, very simple things got that place going absolutely bananas.
It was awesome.
You know,
it was electric,
And
man.
you could really feel like C38 kind of fed off of that.
Oh, yeah.
C38 was
oh,
electric
gosh,
that whole
they were
game.
going
Like
crazy, yeah.
C38 was one of the best parts of that game, in my opinion, because they fed off the crowd energy, and the crowd would feed off C38. It was just like reciprocating every
Right.
time. It would just keep building up. Unfortunately, everybody got kind of blue balls because nothing ever happened. but it was like really building up to something. You could feel the energy from everybody just kind of jumping little by little.
Yep.
Everybody was like getting really into it. I was at the press box. You're not supposed to celebrate at the press box. You're not supposed to do any of that kind of things. But I could tell that we were all kind of on the edge of our seats. We were kind of
Waiting for that release.
It's gonna happen. You could feel the crowd starting to get there.
Can you put up Zach Howley's comment here, because it helps that the team does really well, but I remember back in 2015,
Huge. It's such a big part of it.
well, that's a big thing, but even before, when the Rapids were bad, they were doing fan engagement way better than they have. I mean, nowadays. I remember Kevin Doyle, an Irishman, on the St. Patrick's Day game, they gave everyone free green shirts, right? And then what did everyone do during the game? They wore them, and we did like a green out, right?
I still use the pint glasses.
Yeah, and
Remember
Yeah.
they sold the pint glasses that were green.
yes.
Also for that, and I don't even have color on them anymore. They're faded because I still use them.
And the thing about like these kind of memorable experiences is it leads to this exclusivity, right? And I think that's what fans like, is like this is the only time in the game where we'll do a green out, right? Is the St. Patrick's Day, the fireworks after the show. That's the only game. Why does 4th of July fill out?
Because it's fireworks.
it's
It's
Fireworks.
4th of July,
engagement.
right? But it's also
Fan
like,
engagement.
hey, you guys want to be on the Rapids field? Like, that's so cool. That sticks with my brother. He was 6 years old the first time we took him to a 4th of July game, and he like loved it. He loves it. He loves going on the field. It's things like that. It's things that kind of engage the supporter. But it's also like, hey, now that you're a supporter, like, you got to, from a club perspective, a match day perspective, you got to make sure you're taking care of them.
Sure.
It's not just like cooking them in. It's
think-
also keeping them around.
I think one thing, and it does take investing in match day experiences like that, and making the right marketing connections and purchasing those things ahead of time to have those flags or the scarf or the shirt or the pom pom or the whatever or the wavy noodle thing like the people behind the basket at Nuggets games get
Right.
to make
Yeah.
noise or distract or whatever that is. It takes time and investing and making sure that you're doing that ahead of time. Not waiting for a big game like a playoff game, or not
Correct.
making sure that game's going to matter, because then all of a sudden you're not being able to do those things.
Right.
I will say this. Until this offseason, the Rapids, which don't actually make money, right? The Rapids as a whole lose money as a club, right? But for the first time this offseason, they're adding 25 people to the front office, which doesn't seem like a lot, but sports teams in general have about the same size staff as like a department store, as a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or something. That's how big most sports teams' total staff is, right? So they're hiring 25 people across departments, and that includes, only because I saw it on LinkedIn the other day, a director of match day experience. This is a new position that they have now invested in.
They used to have that.
Sure.
Yeah.
But COVID came in.
Yeah, it
They
just
weren't making
hasn't been
any
replaced.
money,
Yeah.
which they already don't make money when they are making money, right?
Right.
But then they made no money.
And this is an important
And so
thing.
now
why you're
they have
saying
invested
that.
in this, including they promoted someone to this role to invest in things like this. I'm not saying that means it's going to happen or the problems have been fixed, but I do think it is a step in the right direction from the club's perspective that maybe these things are going to be fixed. Maybe
Yeah.
they are addressing and hearing and now have an actual budget to do that. Is that... I mean, where's your hope level knowing that they're doing that?
Time will tell, right? Like, we'll have to see what it is. But, like, my thing is, like, I don't want to... Everybody has very similar complaints, right? And I think it all gets down to really what Juan was saying is that it's really like feeling a lack of connection between the club and the fans in the stadium. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but
yes,
that's kind of what you said. And I agree with that. Like, I agree with that 100%. And I think that's always been the challenge, whether you're in C38 or you're, sitting wherever. If you're not even sitting, if you're up in the concourse because you don't like your seats and, you just want to go over the bridge and watch from there, which is a fun place to watch the match too. But there is that lack of connection there. And I think some of that comes down to tradition. Somebody posted in the comments, like, why can't we just sing a song, blah, blah, blah. Like, we could, like, we've tried that a few times and people don't. And there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of it is a lot of folks that live in Denver are not from here and they move in and they're not Rapids fans yet,
Yeah.
Or maybe they're bringing in wherever they came from. They're fans of their home team still, which is fine. Like, you're allowed to do that.
No, you're not.
You don't have to.
You adopt the team that you move to.
Give up your life when you move somewhere else. It's like, if I move somewhere else, I'd still be a Rapids fan.
I agree.
Like, I wouldn't give that up.
We're the exception. Everybody else has to adopt us.
If Yahya ever moves, he's not going to be a Rapids fan anymore.
Oh, hell no. I'll be a Rapids supporter. That's what I'm going to be.
He's going to be a
You don't even go to games,
anyway.
bro.
I don't go to games because I need to, actually, see the game.
I know.
So the three of you, all of you guys are there. So I'm like, okay, I need to see what can actually happen on TV. It's like a little bit different perspective.
No, and I get
Juanners,
that.
You've kind of you hear there's new positions coming in. You had that very deep, hey, they need to hire more people. Does that give you hope for the future that things will change, or is it kind of a little too late for that?
No, it's never too late to make adjustments, and I think I'll always say not to ever make this ever seem threatening, but front office people are going to come and go. I started going when Tim Hinchy was the guy, and then slowly and surely Wayne and Porig have control.
And before that, I mean, people are like, "Oh, I don't like how things are going." Dude, back in the day, there was an airplane that used to fly around on the last home match of the season.
Yeah,
with one of those planes with the banners that flies behind it would circle around for 20 minutes every year. That would say "Bravo out." KSC out. And every year,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, this was every year. You remember, you've been going.
Yeah, I've been going there. And my main thing is those, people in these positions will come and go, and there's only so much I can do. Where I've kind of turned focus on how can I make the C38 experience better, right? And that involves things,
which is a great experience,
right? But I mean, there's also a C38 experience outside the game. How do we add to that? How do we make it fun to be a C38 member? How do we make it fun to actually be a part of a community bigger than yourself, right? When it comes to hearing all that about the Rapids, I'm always hopeful about the Rapids. I always say I will come at everything with the Rapids do every season with a hopeful mind, with a positive mind of let's see it. Let's I'll never write the team off, right?
Yeah.
So even if they hadn't made those signings, I'm I hope someone read it up there, even if not, that would have been enough for me to, have hope that maybe something might change. And even if it doesn't.
You've seen it in here. How many people said it was a great op-ed? I agree with this piece. I agree with that piece. Like a lot of these people, it resonated. This was, I said, this was probably the most talked about event that more than anything we put out, more than anything
that happened
Wave
really
put out,
with
more
Rapids.
than anything. It was by far, in terms of Rapids media, it was about as popular as anything that came out last year. So I that's why we wanted you here, man. Is because you are part of C38. You are in the front row of behind the goal. If there's a picture of the goal, there's a picture of Juanners. Right?
Yeah,
you are a huge part of it.
Right.
And it really feels I personally what Juanners feels. It's kind of like the pulse of the ultras, the fans. That's what I take. So I'm like,
You're like
what
a totem.
Yeah, exactly. So like you're right in between because you do a podcast. You do need to have a little bit more of a partial take sometimes.
Right.
But you're also very like involved in the team, and I feel like you're a big part of the pulse of the fan base. That I feel like you're a good measuring stick to where the Rapids are.
Yeah, I mean, I always try and speak for myself. Those are very kind words. I mean, you know, there's issues with, you know, everything with the not only just the Rapids, but there's, you know, internal C38 issues as well. We're working on them. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be something to get better at. And I guess my kind of role in the space is to point it out. Yeah. In short.
Yeah.
Look, when we put together events, we're looking at doing another Rapids party bus. And that's going to include us buying a wristband for everyone that goes on the DNVR party bus to go hang out at the C38 tailgate, because it is if
So
you're a
much
fan,
fun, yeah.
you need to go.
Yes.
That's a fan
Like
experience.
you have to go. I go before every game, and they feed us upstairs. Like I go and eat hot dogs and hang out and shoot the shit for, I don't know, sometimes it's 5 minutes because I'm not good at being on time to things.
You're in a hurry.
But sometimes it's an hour, and I get to hang out and vibe out, and it's a great time.
The answer to this question is Arsenal versus Rapids friendly 28.
I think
19.
I think Josh was there a couple times this year.
I know Stan was there.
Oh, Stan for sure. Stan doesn't come. But Stan's also in LA at his office at SoFi.
Stan was also at the Orlando
counting
City
his
game
money.
against Arsenal.
Here's one thing I do want to bring up, though, and I do want to get back into all of this stadium experience, but everyone who's on Twitter who's always saying, like, until we get a new owner, nothing's going to change. I want to encourage all of you to think bigger and smarter than that. Like, that's such a go-to statement, and I want to tell you why it doesn't matter. And I know that comes off as kind of dickish, but and I don't mean it that way. But I hope
If you don't, I do.
I hope it's in a way that it will release you from always feeling this angst about ownership. It is like, you can look at the numbers. Like, this is not a money-making club.
Nope.
The reason
Most
it is
MLS
still,
teams don't make all
the-
MLS teams
yeah.
don't make money.
the reason it's still a good investment for KSC is because the price that they bought it from was here, and the way that pro sports teams sell, that price is always going to be higher and higher and
they're gonna
higher
make so
than
much
what
money
you
on that
paid
sale.
for it. So the end sell price will be astronomical. Okay, so I want you to remember that. That's part number one. Okay, this is the really important part. When someone spends all of that money, which is going to be way more than what the Cronkies bought the team for, they're going to need to make money. Most MLS clubs do not make money.
Zero.
Original 96 teams don't make as much money as the new clubs because they just don't have that excitement that the new clubs do. So a new owner comes in and they're finding out that after 3-4 years that they're losing money every year. This team is gone from Colorado. It's going to go to a sexier location where they can make money. That's just business. So when you're always clamoring for the team to be sold, think bigger. That what's the ramifications of that when you think about how much it's going to cost to buy it, and when you're not making money because the investment's not at the same level difference as it was when the team was first bought by Kroenke. That team is going to move to a place where it's going to make money, and that's not good for any of us.
Nope.
So
Nope, it's not.
I just want to put that out there because I've seen this for years and years and years and years and years and years. You'll never see me make that comment because of this statement. But I want to focus on, instead of that, like, what are things that we can do as supporters in the stadium to make the experience more fun?
Do you know what we can do right now as a podcast?
I hope it's learn about some more homies.
We can talk about the homies at Illegal Pete's.
Let's go.
Yeah. Are you on a new diet this year? Does anyone do the diet thing for New Year's? Any of you guys?
I
I'm
fast
gonna
for
try.
10 days.
You fast for what?
10 days.
You haven't eaten for this whole year?
No, it starts on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love
And then
that.
if it didn't start this Monday, next
yeah,
Monday.
love that.
No,
Love that.
I just have an anniversary, so
Oh,
we have
nice,
a dinner
nice,
date.
Nice. Love
So
that.
Congratulations.
After that, though,
You know
10
somewhere you
days.
should.
You don't eat for 10 days?
I did it last year.
That's insane.
You know somewhere you
awesome.
should
Well-
try for your anniversary date dinner.
Illegal Pete's for sure.
Illegal Pete's.
Definitely get a margarita before the date. If you are doing the new diet thing, you can head down to our homies at Illegal Pete's. They're all over town. You have tons of fresh ingredients. They can fit almost any diet. And I know because I tried a lot of them while I was working there, and I've made caterings for all these diets. Keto, you can go if you're cutting sugar, if you're vegan, if you're only cutting dairy, whatever you're doing, they can cater that to you immediately. Eat Pete's for the health of it. Check out any of their 10 Colorado locations. There's one 3 blocks from the bar here that we go to for lunch a lot. They're in Park Hill. They're downtown. They're down by DU. They're on Broadway.
Yeah.
Park Hill, Tech Center.
They're all over Colorado.
All over the place. They're also in Arizona. Happy hour 3 to 6. Get the best margaritas in town. It's about 3 shots of margarita. So if you have a couple of those at a dirt cheap happy hour price, you're going to be sitting pretty.
I'm waiting for Mitch's secret.
They also have a refreshing Hop Lark Citra at any illegal Pete's if you're doing dry January, which we did this every year that I was there. Partner with a local company that does an NA beer. Help people still hang out and vibe out in the bar, hanging out with everybody. You have something that tastes just like an alcoholic beer in your hand. My Pete's trick of the day, and this is if you're dieting, because this is what I did when I was trying to not eat queso 2 meals while I was there 5 or 6 days a week. The shredded beef, which they kind of cook like a pot roast style, is the only of those meats that has no sugar in the marinade or the sauce or the rub on it. So if you're trying to cut that, you do a salad with some guacamole, some shredded beef, pico, the veggies. You're getting no sugar, tons of good protein, tons of flavor. And that's Mitch's Illegal Pete's tip of the day.
You know, whatever you get at Chipotle, just go order that Illegal Pete's, and it's going to be way better.
Oh, man, a million times.
It's be made by people with way more tattoos and piercings who may or may not have slept in the last 24 hours, but it's going to taste really good. A lot of stickers. There's some DNVR stickers down there.
Dude, I might end up going.
I'm probably going after this too. Illegal Pete's is always our go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer. Make sure you go check out the homies. We're also going to talk about Green Mountain Dental. These guys are the OG partners. They've been doing it the longest. The most rewarding thing about DNVR is seeing the connections made through our listeners in this community. Green Mountain Dental is an OG partner of ours and major Colorado sports fans. They've been a supporter since the beginning. We've had countless fans and our own staff convert to Green Mountain Dental, and they never look back. They're just 15 minutes from Denver and Lakewood. CSU alum Dr. Ben and his team have you covered from dentistry, like cleanings, orthodontics, like getting those wisdom teeth pulled, all of it. Everything that dentists do, they got you. Here's a few offers for our DNVR listeners. Tell the team that DNVR Sports, that DNVR Rapids, that Duane Brown sent you.
Boom.
You get $300 discount on a full orthodontics treatment for new patients. If you mention DNVR Sports, you get a free set of bleach trays. Can you believe that?
I can't even believe that.
That is a $350 value.
Unreal.
And you get it for free when you get a new patient cleaning exam and x-rays just because you're homies with us, and that's sick. So do that. Lastly, if you are a hygienist and you are looking for work, Green Mountain Dental is hiring full and part-time positions. They're willing to work with your schedule. They're willing to offer great benefits, healthcare, PTO. If you want to make an appointment or find more information, check out their website, greenmountaindentalgroup.com today. Woo! Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get into actual
Let's go.
day. What can we do?
Yeah, we only got about like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or 15.
We're not going to get to
We're not going to get to the
branding.
third part. Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Yeah.
So let's just say right now, the person that just got that promoted to match day, whatever, didn't get the job. And we all got that job instead. Yeah. What would be your first move? Day one, improve match day experience.
Minute 2, the last 2 minutes of Piano Man is starting to play at the Rapids.
You did this
Stadium.
the
I
other
did
day,
this yesterday.
And I was like, I don't know, bro. Billy Joel. And then you played it, and I was like, oh, this slaps.
Where it just starts. It's a great.
Yahya literally just found out about.
Yeah, where it just
Yes.
that song where it just fucking starts playing. Where it starts. There's a great crowd on a Saturday night. The manager smiles at me because they know we're all here to watch it, and I'm like, yeah, dude, this is the Rapids. Like, dude, go for it, and then just.
Everyone knows the song.
Yeah, and then you just start singing Piano Man. Like,
Now
it's
Yahya
dope.
does too.
Yeah,
Now that it's now everyone.
I mean,
knows
but
this song.
but like everybody
So
knowing that song
when are you playing this song?
while they're walking out. Like that's what you just like.
What about the MLS anthem?
Yeah, what about MLS?
Screw that MLS anthem.
Nah,
Nobody
the
knows
MLS
that.
That's
anthem goes
MLS
hard.
rules, man.
Dude, it does.
I want
But who sings
I
along?
want the dubstep remix
Okay.
of the MLS
But no, but like,
anthem.
No.
who sing- no.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah. Wait,
sings that.
wait,
That's
wait.
what I'm telling you.
Look.
Everybody knows Piano Man. So what's gonna happen? You put the lyrics on the scoreboard. Everybody
Maybe you
sings
do
along.
that between the walkout and the kickoff.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like,
Like, when
only 2
could-
minutes long. It
so-
doesn't take that long.
Hang on,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very easy.
Piano Man.
Yeah,
Let's go.
hang on.
Screw this! I'm done here. Rapping Man.
Bro.
Kevin's bringing it.
We all four got hired, and the first decision was fire Yaya.
We got hired. Yo, yeah, get the fuck out of here. We're not talking to you anymore.
Yeah. Could we do it?
We're talking in Spanish here now, guys.
Oh my god, I'm on board with the piano.
I'm
Man
on board
thing.
with
I
it
think
too.
it's
But
great.
let's
Thank
bring
you,
it to
B-Ray.
reality. Okay, let's bring it to reality.
Playing
All
a
right?
song is pretty easy.
But
That's
we're not going
reality.
to replace the MLS anthem. That's ridiculous.
It's
We
not
could
ridiculous.
do-
You can literally play it anytime.
It's
Dude,
MLS
No,
rules.
It's MLS rules,
You
bro.
it is MLS rules, but you can play it at another. You can play
Yeah.
Piano Man at
That's
other
what
times.
I'm trying to
I'm
say.
sorry,
Yaya.
yeah,
So
like,
when are we playing
Stop
it?
talking
can-
so I can tell you.
no, you've talked the whole show.
Stop
It's fine.
talking.
Like it's fine. We can literally play
You
it at
can do
halftime.
it. Come at after halftime.
Halftime.
And you
fine.
get
There's
the crowd
plenty of
back
time.
into it.
play. I like Isaiah's honestly. Just play whoop that trick at the game when we score.
What's that trick?
You give fans free towels to wait.
That is awesome,
Dude, hire Isaiah, bro. What are you
All
Yeah,
right,
what are you doing
we're
hiring
out.
us? Go
We're
hire
out.
Isaiah.
Isaiah's in. Yeah, more Rapid Man. Honestly,
Yeah.
more Rapid Man is my cure to anything Rapids. Rocky is the coolest, right? The coolest. Rocky, I think, is the GOAT of mascots.
Yeah.
Rapid Man needs some
Dinger,
tricks.
pretty
Some
good.
stunts.
Dinger's lame, bro.
Dingers.
Kids love Dinger.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
kids.
Thunder and Miles, pretty great 1-2 punch for the Pones.
Yeah.
Chip and Ralphie, pretty good 1-2 punch for the Buffs.
I don't know these people.
You
For
don't
the-
know Thunder.
What's Thunder?
The horse.
That they
That's
ride
the
out
one
on.
they ride on, though, right?
Yeah.
It's
Who?
not the like mascot.
Broncos.
Every time they score,
The Broncos.
a horse
Oh,
goes
I don't
across
watch
the
the
field.
Broncos, dude.
Well,
Smart
then-
man.
Well, now I'm teaching.
I don't know anything about.
Ralphie the Buffalo. You don't know Ralphie the Buffalo.
I do know
All right.
Ralphie, but I don't know the
Chip
other.
is the
All right,
mascot.
so what? So let's get back to the Rapids.
Okay, but here's
what
the-
should Rapid Man do? Like, what's something you got?
I was
for
like,
us?
oh,
Give
we
us
should do
something.
stuff on the field, but the problem is, and not the problem, it's something you have to work around. But like, you have, like in basketball, how many breaks are there where Rocky go out
So
and do
many.
the backwards,
Yeah.
do the backward shot or climb a ladder.
That's
and
why they
shoot
pay
it
him the big
or
bucks.
Mess with people or whatever. You don't really get that. Right, there's no time where you can go out and watch him do a backflip penalty or
crossbar
like
challenge.
or like yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of time for him to do that. So I don't know specifically how you integrate him more, but as my sticker right here on my laptop is more Rapid Man, just more
Okay.
Rapid Man.
Get at us on
All the time.
Twitter.
More Rapid Man.
Get at us on Twitter with realistic things Rapid Man could do during the match, like real ideas. Because I mean, if we get a bunch of ideas, I will put it together in a presentation, and I will myself take it to the Rapids and present it. So I won't let your comments on Twitter go unused.
Juanners, you're up.
Well, you took away the music idea they had, and you took away the halftime idea. I had.
Do a better one, dude. Mine
Here.
was just like a song I like.
I love Mountain Roads, but it's getting old. I think Rocky Mountain High by John Denver
Yeah,
should
that's
be
a
the
good
new
one.
anthem.
Go.
Rocky Mountain High, Colorado.
Yeah, and the
Something
whole
like
place
that.
goes. Everyone knows those words too. I'm into it.
Yeah, so I would replace that if doable. I mean, I love Mountain Roads, but it's originally country roads for West Virginia, and then Rocky Mountain High is literally about Colorado. We don't have to adjust the words for that. I will always be on that high horse.
Ooh, I like the burgundy lights when we score. Like Austin has the green.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
that'd be
that a
sick.
lot. Like that.
I do like what Boca Juniors does, and they have streamers from the top.
That's another one I was thinking about.
They have streamers from the top of this section all the way down. Something like that. Some streamers. It doesn't even have to be like too many. Like, if anything, C38 might just do it one day. I don't know. But I feel like a one game where maybe even the opener, one game you have the entire stadium with streamers. streamers.
All right, let me jump because this is also my idea. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm so with you on the streamers. So I'm thinking every time there is a goal, everybody has blue streamers, light blue, like Rapids blue. Burgundy works too. Like we can use both colors, and everyone throws them. It doesn't matter where you're sitting. Just don't throw them on the field, but you throw them within the stands so that the visual here is one. Again, we get back to anybody can do it,
Right.
You know, but the visual is of. You ready? If we're using the blue, it makes a river, like a series of rapids coming down the stands because it's these, these blue streamers that are flying up out of the crowd and going down.
So, I'm not going to tell you no, but you know who is going to tell you no?
I know. I've already presented this idea so many times.
MLS says no.
MLS?
Yeah, it's an MLS rule. They do not allow streamers because the LA Galaxy at the beginning of the games they used to throw up all the streamers and they would you'd see them in the game. Now they don't do it anymore.
And that's an MLS. That came from MLS.
Yeah.
Wow, man, way to go, dude.
I hate that.
You're
so
fired.
much.
I like it though. And I
But
think
here's the thing.
You're
it could be a
fired.
fundraiser. Like if the Rapids sold the streamers, each row is 50 cents. And you buy it, and that all goes to KSC charities, or C38 sells it and puts it towards, the Orr Foundation. You
Right.
know, all this stuff. Like, man, it's just sucks that it's.
And that's the thing is, like that reaction that you have, a lot of ideas that come from C38 of like, let's do this, and it's like, Rapids are on board. Stadium security is on board.
Yeah.
C38's on board.
Commerce City is not on board.
Yeah, Commerce City is not on board.
With flares.
Well, flares or whatever.
Yeah.
I've always wanted flares, but that's either
Yeah.
Commerce City is going to get
That's
their
not
hands in
Rapids,
it,
that's Commerce City.
or the league is. And that's what kind of sucks sometimes about MLS.
Yeah.
Well, I hope we solved the problems there as the new director of matchday activities.
I think Isaiah's got the job though. He's just
Isaiah's got some
he's
good
just kind of
ideas.
dishing them out.
I mean, dude, we had our own pom poms for the freaking Avalanche watch parties during the
Yeah,
finals. Like
it was like
they're
a
easy. It's
snowstorm.
easy.
It was
Let's do
an
stuff like that.
avalanche in here.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. Juanners, plug away, my guy. You have something new to plug.
Yes,
You have a new outlet to
Let's
find
go.
Juanners. Let's hear about it.
Yes. So
Cameo.
If no. If you want to,
Only
I'm not doing
only
shout
Juans.
outs. I'm not doing shout outs. If you want to make money on MLS this season, if you want
Wanley fans. That was better.
If you want a 10-year couch MLS expert, this would be my 10th year watching the league. If you want 10 years of experience watching this crazy league with all the betting advice and betting that I've got and betting tips and tricks that I've gotten over the past few years, go over to my Substack. It's going to be juanners.substack.com. It's called the Juanners Report. Every week, I'm going to release a free article kind of recapping the MLS games. But if you want to look into the insight, the analysis, the picks, if you want to look into all my betting kind of leans for the weekend, you can go ahead and pay a premium price, $90 for a year, $15 a month. Yeah.
Love that.
And then follow me
Steal.
at Juanners715 at C38SG.
When DraftKings, the homies, drop MLS futures, we will get a little more Juanners on here.
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
talk some bets.
I mean, I'll have a futures article. I'm currently working on the preseason preview for every MLS team. So going to write about every MLS team in their preseason, how they do, and then we'll have a full preview of the MLS season. I'm going to tell you who to bet on, who to avoid. And if you never read one of my reports again, you know to stay away from teams like, I don't know, Atlanta, Charlotte, kind of the lower end teams.
Fade the bad teams.
Yeah, fade the bad. Well, not even, because the Earthquakes were really good last year for betting because they were so bad. So,
Yeah. Well, follow along with Juanners, all of his new stuff, all of his old stuff, C38 Pod with Jared. These are the homies. We're happy to have you on. Hopefully we can get you a little more here. Moving forward, another Juanners week is due. Like and subscribe to everything DNVR, whether that's the Twitter, whether that's the Rapids Twitter, the DNVR Sports Twitter, the YouTube page. Hit that like button like Yahya just threw in the comments there.
That was Tiff.
Or that was Tiff. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. It's a big old help for us. It definitely helps the algorithm, helps all that. So do that. Get the DNVR locker, get your merch, come down. We're going to be having watch parties. Hopefully we're going to throw a big old party for opening day. So come on down for that. More important than all of that, the most important thing we say every show, not the hour and 10 minutes we ranted beforehand, is Up the Pids.